Hey, hi, Sharon here. Today I want to give you my explanation of how tapping, EFT, emotional freedom techniques, actually works. Now, please bear in mind that my explanation about this is rather different than anybody else's way of explaining it out there. But to me, it is demonstrably as I'm going to describe to you. And I like knowing how things work. Now, it's not necessary to know how it works in order to make use of the technique. I have a cell phone that I absolutely adore and I'm pretty good at using, and I have not a clue how it actually works. So don't get too hung up on all of this, but it is a cool explanation. So tapping is based loosely on acupuncture and the acupuncture meridians, because if you've seen tapping or any of my videos, we are tapping on meridian endpoints, okay? Now, the important part of this is that we are electrical in nature, electrical. This is not anything weird or woo-woo. We're electrical in nature, and we know this, it's measurable, it's provable. If you've ever had an EKG, you know they're measuring the electrical output of your heart. Electroencephalogram, that's brain activity. That's electrical brain activity. And sometimes they even use that to determine whether or not you're still alive. So this charge that flows through our body is in common use in Western medicine every day. It's not weird, but it's used as a diagnostic tool. When you are tapping, I believe that the acupuncture meridians are a schematic of our actual physical electrical wiring, okay? So we are actually using our own two hands and manually accessing our own electrical system. Okay, so that's the first way that it works. Then it's working in a second way. It actually works in a lot of different ways, but the other way that it works is that we're speaking out loud when we tap. And the reason we want to do that, and the reason it works, is because your brain is running programs in the background, many of them from childhood, all the time, all the time. So when you want to make a change to a program, you first have to, we're wired just like the motherboard in a computer, our brains are. So if you want to make a change to a file, you first have to pull it up or display the file, which is what we're doing here with the setup phrases, even though I have this, whatever it is going on. We're alerting that part of our brain to display that file. And sometimes I have people who will say, oh, I don't want to tap in that negative stuff. Well, you have to display that file and identify the problem before you can go in to work with it. You can't fix what you don't see or what you aren't willing to look at. So it's very important to say the negative stuff at the start of this in order to get the best result when you're tapping. Now, I want to say, well, let's see. I got ahead of myself for a minute. Now, what tapping proposes is that when you have one of the big three so-called negative emotions, fear, anger, grief, it can cause a short in your physical wiring, which results in pain and or dis-ease. And when you are tapping, you can go in and repair that short in your wiring, which causes you to feel better. And it can be emotional pain, physical pain, but it really does work this way. It's demonstrably so. Now, I want to say a quick thing, because you remember we talked about being electrical in nature, right? And this is something that you got to remember. It's important. It really is important, because you know how everybody tells you to stay hydrated. Just stay hydrated, stay hydrated. But nobody ever quite tells you why. Well, guess what? I'm going to tell you exactly why. If you go out to start your car and the battery is low on fluid, low on water, your car will not start, because that battery cannot carry an electrical charge, okay? And exactly the same thing happens in your body. If you do not have enough water in your body, that charge cannot flow without impediment. And it can make it easier to short your wiring out, over something simple, and it can make it harder to repair it. So I tell people, when you're tapping, if you're not getting a quick result, and I mean in a couple minutes or so, especially if you're doing work with me, you're going to see some pretty speedy results. If that isn't happening, stop what you're doing, go drink about 4 to 6 ounces of water, not 46, 4 to 6, just a little water. Go drink some water and come back and try it again. I think you're going to be surprised, because that's going to get you the result you want. Because this charge that flows through our body flows on water. So very important things to know. And there's a longer, more in-depth explanation for this, and I'll go into that in another video, but for today, this is what you needed. So be sure that you click show more below this video, because I have some things for you. The first thing is I have a free gift for you that you want. It is something you want. It's a video that helps you see what's really emotionally underneath your pain or issue for yourself. It's really great. You want that. And the second thing I have for you in there is an invitation to my private Facebook group. I work in this group on a regular basis, live, and there are over 70 hours of recorded replays available to members in this group for free. It's a huge library. This is a great resource. So you want to click show more below this. And if you're enjoying my work, please like this video and please subscribe to me here on YouTube. And I look forward to seeing you again really soon.